Meeple Nation Podcast, episode 557, our top 30 games of all time.
Welcome, citizens, to Meeple Nation. Grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, warm up those dice, and join us at the game table as we discuss board games and the board gaming world. Each week, the hosts of Meeple Nation share their love for board games and the amazing memories that come from playing games with some very outstanding people. Let us now join our hosts in their natural habitat, the game table.
Numbers 20 through 29.
Or as I say it on the street, part deux. Remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Gun?
We're not on 20.
Or no, it was
Yeah, not Naked Gun. It was
what was it? Hot Shots.
Hot Shots.
Hot
There it
Shots,
is.
part
Yeah.
deux.
Except for this isn't 20 through 29. This is 11 through 20.
There you go.
Yeah.
We already did the
11
other one.
through 20. There you go. Still remember the cover of that show with the where he's got like the bow and arrow and it's got like the chicken in it or whatever.
Yes.
Oh man, that was 80s.
Yes, that was
That was
Charlie Sheen in
totally
his
from the
prime.
80s. Yep.
Lloyd Bridges is the one that stood out for me in that. Oh my gosh. He's yelling at the picture, Roy!
I still remember, was it from the first one or the second one? There was one of those Hot Shots movies where he's like, he just keeps firing the machine gun. He just like keeps going and going and going. And by the time it's done, he's in like a pile of spent
Of
brass.
shells, yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
The only thing I remember off that was the spoof off of 9.5 Weeks, where the girl's laying down, instead of, getting all erotic with the food, he's like grilling steaks on her stomach.
I don't remember that part. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That show did a great job at making fun of all the tropes, though.
Yes,
that was what made it funny, man.
Yep.
But I haven't seen it for forever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been many, many, many years.
Yeah.
So
and there's probably a reason for that.
So I'm not.
It's not a cult classic.
Yeah, it's
It is no Big
to
Trouble
be
in
clear,
Little
I
China.
don't think anybody is recommending it,
No, yeah, absolutely not.
but we do remember it
Yes.
with some fondness.
With some fondness, probably because our memory is not very clear.
Yeah. After and maybe that should be my highlight. We're off on a little bit of a tangent here, but after BGG Con, where I got to play Big Trouble in
So
Little
excited
China.
about this.
I did finally get to go and watch Big Trouble in Little China, and like that show was like terrible. And wonderful and completely disturbing all at the same time. Like I've never like my emotional like needle was just flying back and forth and doing weird things on the Z-axis apparently. Cause like 1 minute I was loving it and the next I was like, oh, but like, it was great and awful at the same time.
You roll your eyes and then you laugh and then you're like, those are some great one-liners.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I watched that show, but I also kind of want to watch it again, like in a weird way.
No, there's nothing weird about it. It's a great show. It's one of those, and that's the reason why it's called a cult classic, because it's on that verge of why in the world did I watch that, and why do I want to watch that again and again and again?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite there, but maybe after a couple more watches, I don't know. It was well worth the watch though, and it made me appreciate the board game quite a bit more.
Yeah. I love the board game. Just fills in all those story gaps, and board game pays great homage to a great cult classic movie.
It really does. It does. Now that I've seen the show, it genuinely does do a great job at that. So.
Yeah, one of the few games that like really adheres to the original media.
Yeah. I mean, I felt some familiarity with the characters as I was watching the show because we had played the board game, and that I don't think is something you'd find in very many other pieces of media that do the same thing. So anyway, but the Meeple Nation podcast is not a movie podcast. We are indeed a board game podcast, and we have a wonderful sponsor, Game Toppers LLC. Game Toppers LLC, fantastic company. You definitely need to go check out their website. Their whole objective is to make game night amazing for you. And that's one thing we love about Berkey. He is constantly innovating and constantly coming up with great new products that make game night fantastic, whether it's a topper, whether it's a mat, whether it's a cool accessory, whether it's the new mat storage solutions he has. He is constantly coming up with new stuff to make your life better as a board gamer. So go check out GameToppersLLC.com.
We are the hosts of Meeple Nation. I'm Nathan Howard.
I'm Andy Holiday.
And I am Douglas Stewart.
With our powers, I don't know why I always go to that, but with our powers combined, we are Meeple Nation.
I forgot my ring.
I forgot my ring. Dang it. It's in the Cracker Jacks.
I brought mine. Drink more Ovaltine.
A crummy commercial. It is that time of the year. There's one station, I can't remember what station, that plays that like for 24 hours.
Yes, it is.
And
wow.
There's been more than 1 year that I've watched it more than once. Just kind of had it in the background playing, catch in every once in a while. But anyways, we're back on TV.
Yeah, we're back on movies. Anyway, all right, help us out here, Nathan. I think we have a website or something.
We do have a website full of Meeple Nation goodness. None of our movie highlights, but all of our game episodes and our social medias and all the things that you would ever want to know, and maybe a lot of the stuff you don't want to know, but it's mostly there, and that's at meeplenation.com. We also have a link to our Patreon page. If you enjoy the podcast and want to be a member of the nation, jump on over there. And I'm not sure why you always have to jump, but you do. Jump on over there and get on that link and become a patron. We appreciate the support. We love our patrons. Patrons help keep things going. And so if you want to be a patron with all that jumping and yipping and yapping, you can go over there and become a patron of the Meeple Nation podcast.
Some people don't know this, but if you become a patron, you can actually skip or hop or
jump.
Well, or like moonwalk if you want.
Meander.
It's all.
That's right.
If you're a patron, it's all good.
Yeah, Carson does some great moonwalk.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's got
tutorials. I would love that. We should do a dance tutorial with Carson.
We should.
Yeah, except for not the worm
Not the
worm. His other Elvis impressions. I don't know what else to call him, but he's got some hips that get going.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I just checked my watch, and I think it's highlight 30.
Is that highlight 30?
I think so.
Awesome. That's my favorite part of the podcast.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Awesome.
Who's up first? Is it me? I'm going. So Jody and I have been playing a couple of new games, and Jody asked me, said, "Hey, have you played Conspiracy? Have you played Odin?" And I was like, "Nope." So let's get those going. And so we've started playing these. They're two simple little card games. Conspiracy is in the Abyss universe, and that's actually the name of the game, is Conspiracy Abyss Universe. And this is a very
How creative.
Yeah, and the game is actually really, really simple. You have, I think it's like 5 suits that are all in representing different races within the Abyss universe, and you have you're building a reverse pyramid. So I believe you start with 6, then you go down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and end up with when somebody completes a pyramid, that's the end of the game. But each of the cards, dependent on their number, allows you to do certain things, and the numbers all go from 0 to 6. They will all give you a point value based on that number. But the lower numbers will allow you to swap places on your row, because at the end of the game, if you have like suits that are connected, that are adjacent to each other, then you will get a point for each one that's in that run of that suit. And then you will also score points for having the most pearls, but that's kind of a minor point. But one of the big things that you have to do in the game is collect keys. There's silver keys and there's bronze keys or gold keys. And these keys, when you get a pair of these keys, will allow you to get a location card. And they have a variety of effects. Some of them will it'll score whatever the highest rank you have of a particular suit. It'll give you points, extra points for your pearls, give you extra points for having keys, and a very, very simple game, but actually very quick and enjoyable. And so one that I'm on the prowl for, trying to find, and I was hoping to find it actually at BGG while we were there in the game swap. I was looking for it, but kind of an obscure little game. Well,
it's interesting because as you're describing it, there's I can definitely see where they pulled from Abyss, the regular game.
Yeah.
Have you guys both played that before?
A long time ago when it first came out.
Okay. Yeah. I actually really like Abyss. It's one I would like to pull off the shelf again soon, hopefully. But I actually think that it's a fantastic little game, especially when you get the expansions in there. But as you're describing that card game, I can definitely see the parallels with the pearls and the keys and all of that. So
yeah, and it's very fun, very simple. Very much enjoy it. The next game that he introduced me to was this also very simple card game called Odin. And when he first asked me if I'd played Odin, I was like, Feasts of Odin? or Feast for Odin.
A Feast for Odin.
Yeah, A Feast for Odin. And he's like, no, just Odin. And there's 4 suits, 4 different colors, and there's Vikings. And the first person, this is a card shedding game, so you're trying to get rid of your cards, and then you're going to score points for the number of cards that your opponent has left. But first person has to play a card. They can play 1 card. And then the next person can play a card of a higher value, or they can play 2 cards, which obviously makes it a higher value. But you can play up to, you can replace it with a single card of a higher value, or replace it with 2 cards. And then if you replace it with 2 cards, then you're going to take the 1 card and it becomes part of your hand. And then when then they have 2 cards, and so they're going to try to replace it with a higher value or 3 cards. And if they replace it, then they're going to take one of those cards and bring it back to their hand. So if they're putting out 3 cards, they're shedding 2 cards, but getting 1 card back. So a net loss of 2 cards. And you just go through those rounds until you eliminate your cards. And if you can't play a card, then you're going to pass, and then you're going to start the whole process over. And very simple little games that have been a blast to play. And so Jody has Odin. I can win sometimes. Conspiracy I can win actually more often, but Jody still wins.
So it's noteworthy because you can beat Jody.
Yeah, I can beat Jody sometimes. It's no Awari, although Jody's making me mad. We played 2 games today, and we tied both those games. And just like you, Doug, those ties all broke in Jody's favor.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
That's right. Take that, sucker.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was they're very tight games. And I love it when a game is tight. I find far more enjoyment out of a game when it's close. I enjoy losing a game a lot more when it's a close loss instead of me just watching Jody stomp on my score sheet.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
But both of those games available on BGA as well. So good implementations of both of them.
Nice.
You might be able to get one of us to try them then.
Yeah. Come on, Andy. You can do it. Somebody shutting a door? I thought I heard a door squeaking.
I don't know if I can.
I'll break you down. Yeah.
We'll see.
There's Champions of Midgard on there.
I've got that at home.
And there's, what was it? Mythic Battles Pantheon?
I've got that at home too.
Yeah, but how often have you played it?
Not as often as I'd like.
Just saying.
But Mythic Battles Pantheon without the minis and the cool pieces and the 3D terrain. And
No, you do have a point, but still.
Yeah, he has a good point, actually.
No, it is a very
very
valid
good point.
Yeah, but
yeah,
played is played.
Play is played.
Fun is had.
You know, I could be convinced to play something on BGA if I already knew the rules.
Well,
because that's
like,
honestly, that's one of my
almost 400 games on BGA.
One of my biggest beefs with online games is learning the game to begin with. That's first and foremost. But the other is not being able to like deciding, okay, I'm going to try to do this and this and this. I'm like, no, I want to take that back. I want to try this instead. And you can't take no takesies, backsies. And I hate that.
Yeah, now there are some games that take back is as soon as you play something, and especially if something is revealed. Obviously,
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some games
revealed,
that
but there's a lot of them that don't. Even when nothing's revealed, and you're like, no, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
we're
playing it at the table. I would easily be able to just like clean that up real quick.
Yeah.
And you can't, and it's super frustrating. I do agree that is the number one problem for sure.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I only play games that I already know the rules to. I do not use BGA as a way to learn new games.
Yeah. And Richie and I have been playing a lot of games where I'll just pick one out and say, invite Richie to it.
And he'll read the rules.
And no, we'll both go through it, and then he'll whoop me. And then I'll finally say, okay, now how does scoring work?
Now, how do we actually play the game?
No. I try to read. I try to read the rules and watch tutorials as well. But there's sometimes that I'm just playing a game. Like we just. I'll get to that game later. But we're playing some games, and I'm like, I was winning. How did I lose? And then one simple thing lost me 30 points. I was like, I'm gonna stomp on Richie this game, and
it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Per normal.
And that's not always true.
No, it's a rarity that I don't lose though.
Well, to jump over to one of our highlights, Doug,
Oh yeah, sorry.
Not to steal Nathan's thunder here.
This episode's all about Nathan.
We got to tie in your daughter to play a game with us on a Friday night game night.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
And we lured her in with chickens.
With chickens?
We played Flock Together.
Nice.
And in Flock Together, you are all part of a flock of chickens. And you are trying to defend your coop from the predators that surround the coop. And in order to do that, you're actually going to go out and you're taking the fight to them. So you're fighting predators. There are 4 predators in the game, and you are trying to defeat all the predators, the 3 normal ones, and then there's a big bad that has extra buffs and whatnot by the end. And you have so many rounds to finish it. You play through 3 seasons. You have 3 seasons to finish it, and you're leveling up your character as you go. You level up by eating, and you're gathering. So you're gathering food, and food basically pays for everything. So you need food to pay for your doing damage, you need food to pay to level up, you need food for almost everything. So gathering food is a huge thing, and you need to level up, but at the same time you can't ignore the enemies, because as the seasons roll on, they level up too and are more powerful and harder to defeat, gain more health. It just depends on which one is in the game. But no, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. One I definitely want to play. I think you guys will like it.
Sounds fun. I'm always in for a
I
laugh.
definitely want to try it. Yep.
It's one of those that I picked up. One of the only 2 games I picked up at BGG. And
when did you pick that up? Because it was across.
It was across the way.
That's right. I remember seeing it now.
Yep. And I actually had a good time. It was a lot of fun, and the kids all enjoyed it too. So, and it plays 5 or 6. So we were able to, I think it plays 6. We were able to get everybody at the table, and yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So instead of tower defense, it's like coop defense.
Kind of, except for not really attacking the coop. But there are only actions you can take while you're in the coop, and only actions you can take while you're outside of the coop.
Okay.
And so you are moving around the board. You have 2 actions on your turn, and moving is one of them. So there's a lot of planning involved on how you're going to get the most benefit out of those 2 actions that you have. And no, I think it's a great game. It's very well implemented. The pieces are kind of, has great components and very colorful, great artwork.
Yeah. My son, Seth, is not much of a gamer, but I'm willing to bet you could lure him in with this game too. Yeah.
I'm going to have to try.
He loves chickens, right? He raises our chickens at home. So he's very much into that theme. I think you could probably rope him into playing this at some point too.
We may have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. This looks pretty good.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Very nice. I like it. Okay, well, I'll make my highlight brief. I just finished playing through a game that I'm really hoping I can get the 2 of you to play with me sometime, and that is Deliverance. This was fantastic. I played through the campaign of this. Now, I played through it solo. You can play through it pretty quick. So I just grabbed a couple of the angels, and I ran through the campaign, and it really didn't take too long. I think the campaign was, I want to say it was 13 missions long, maybe 14. There's like a little part where you unlock some stuff at the very end, and I can't remember if you played 2 or 3 missions as part of that last little burst of games. But this is a really interesting game. It's a quote unquote dungeon crawl, right? But it has a Christian theme to it, and so and honestly, like whether that sounds like it's your thing or not, whether that is your thing or not in real life, right? The theme is handled as kind of a fantastical version, right? Like you are taking on the role of these angels. You are fighting the demonic host, right? There's kind of a clever little story that revolves around this little town, and you're going in and trying to figure out why these demons are there and what's going on. And as you kind of work your way through the ranks of like demonic sub-lieutenants and lieutenants, a story kind of emerges as to what's going on. And then there's kind of a big boss battle at the end. So like interesting implementation of this theme, right? Because as you go, you're like, you're collecting like prayer cards, and you're collecting all this like heavenly treasure and these things, but it plays like a dungeon crawl.
So kind of like Diablo?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because this is like real world Christianity. Like
okay.
they've pulled it from, like the names are from the Bible. The demons are from the Bible, right? Like all of this is pulled from that, but it's not handled in like a historically accurate way at all. Like, I mean, it's very clearly not like, yeah, we've tried to recreate events from history or whatever. This is very much a fantastical version of it. So and I will admit that to me, there were a few moments that where that was a little jarring. It was like, oh, I don't know if I felt like totally comfortable with this, but it was really fun. Like it was genuinely a really fun game. And like, I will just say mechanically, it's awesome. Like you have lots of great ways to upgrade your character, especially if you play campaign mode. You can just do like a skirmish, just like a one-off fight.
What? There is no other mode, Doug.
Well, I agree with you, but people may be interested to know that there is a skirmish version. But when you play through the campaign, you have lots of options to upgrade your character. They have like sort of some tiered stacks of ability cards that you can unlock and make some really cool, like you can create synergies and combos with your character, but then you can also create those synergies and combos with the other angels at the table. The enemy AI I thought was really good. The AI was like complex enough that it could do hard things and tell a good story without being so simple that it felt samey, right? Like every mission felt unique and fun and new. And like there was something different going on with the way that you're going about things. There's like saints that you put out on the board, and they can, depending on how close they are to the angels or the demons, they can be like freed or oppressed. And based on the status of those, it'll affect like the darkness cards that are out on the board and how hard the game sort of punches back to the characters a little bit. And so there's always some like sort of secondary objective things going on as you're playing through a mission. I thought that it was handled with respect, but I also, definitely want to emphasize this was like, it's Christianity, but it is definitely a fantastical version of Christianity. I really enjoyed it, and I'd want to get it to the table with you guys so you can give me your take on it as well. It's very unique. They just ran some crowdfunding for an expansion to it. So I did back that. I had a good enough time playing it that I was like, yeah, I definitely want more. So
no, it sounds like fun. It sounds like it's a digestible campaign too, which is great.
Yeah. And any more, right? Like, especially after Gloomhaven and the 100 and something odd missions that were involved in that, it feels so good to just have like a really, like you said, digestible campaign in like a 12 to 14 mission burst.
Yeah.
So really, really liked it. So that was Deliverance. Fantastic game. I really do recommend people check it out. If you like dungeon crawls and if you like that style of game, definitely go look at it.
Sounds cool.
8.6 on BGG. Wow. On BGG. So people like it. It's well reviewed. Weight of 3.11. So not like overly heavy, but definitely enough there to have some crunch. It's a good game. I really liked it.
Let's get it to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can play the game all night. Sorry.
We are definitely not a music podcast.
No.
I'm not so sure. Keep going, Nathan. All right, so let's get into the meat of the episode, guys. This is going to be, we're discussing our top 30 games of all time, and we are on numbers 11 through 20. Who wants to start us off, Nathan?
Well, apparently I do.
Who wants to start us, Nathan?
All right.
So starting number 20 and working our way down, right?
Yeah.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, do we want to do a quick recap of our 30 through 21, just real fast?
Sure. We'll start from my number 21 was Star Wars Outer Rim.
Oh, you're gonna do that. You're gonna go from 21 to 30.
Oh, okay.
Count them down, Nathan. Come on.
All right. My number 30 is Skyrise. 29, Star Wars deck building game. 28, Awari. 27, Lost Cities Roll and Write. 26, Capsules. Castles of Burgundy. 25, Lucky Numbers. 24, Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game. 23, Earth. 22, Undaunted 2200, Callisto. And number 21 was Star Wars Outer Rim.
Very nice. And now number 20.
And now my number 20 is kind of a 2-for-1, but it is that Gloomhaven, Frosthaven that we just got through kind of whining about.
Only one of us was.
Yeah. Well, he's not alone.
It's
fair.
It's fair.
Yeah. I really did. And I really do love the Gloomhaven, Frosthaven play style. I would still play it too. I started Frosthaven with my wife. We got through one game.
And
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I would have to probably go back. And actually, Ashley and Zach were going to play it. He was pretty excited to play it, But then we started Ticket to Ride Legacy, which is awesome, by the way. Having a lot of fun with that.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Also jealous.
Gloomhaven, Frosthaven. Well, I have it for you guys. We just need to, I'm sure we'll finish it before they do. We do.
Okay.
But we just need to start it.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
On a Thursday night, 2 more of us, we can spit that game out.
Okay.
Because we get 5 of us on here on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
It does.
See if it comes to fruition, but it's definitely a plan.
Yeah, is it the plan?
Yeah. Well, it's the plan if everybody commits to showing up.
That's true.
And
having a hard time of that around the holidays.
Yeah. It's this time of year. It's a tough time to get everybody, especially you guys with younger kids that you care about.
Yeah, crazy how that works.
You just get them all married and moved out. Well, they don't move out, but you just get them all married. And,
wow.
No, and I joke about that because I'm very happy to have my oldest here with this, and her and Zach. They're great kids, and we love having them around. But yeah, sometimes they don't go away.
Yeah, that's a good 20. Good number 20.
Number 20. Yep.
I like it.
Frosthaven, Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven, Frosthaven combo. All right.
All right, so my countdown. My number 30 was Potion Explosion. 29 was The Quacks of Quedlinburg. 28 was Dominion. 27, Star Wars deck building game, The Clone Wars Edition. 26, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. 25, Descent Legends of the Dark. 24, Wormspan. 23, Wingspan. 22, Architects of the West Kingdom. And 21, The Pillars of the Earth. My number 20 is Reavers of Midgard. This is the game that we played when we were playing this, when we were watching the Super Bowl, or rather when you were watching the Super Bowl, Nathan.
It didn't matter what it was. I'm not a sports fan at all, but Pretty Moving Lights.
It's going to draw you in, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we went to lunch with a coworker who had just retired, somebody who I love dearly. He was a great guy. And behind him, Taylor Swift was playing like nonstop. And I'm not a Swiffy or a Swiffer or a Swiftacular, whatever they call them.
Swiffer.
But definitely not a Swiffer Whiffer. But
That's awesome.
I'm verily, I say that I'm thoroughly up to date on my Taylor Swift music videos now.
Well, it's funny that you came up with 3 different versions of it and none of them were correct. So I thought that was awesome. But I think going back to Reavers of Midgard.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love this game because there's always something that you get to do no matter whose turn it is. It's similar to Puerto Rico. When someone takes an action, everybody gets to gain something, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets to follow that action if you can afford it. Unlike Puerto Rico, where everybody gets to do something, you actually most of the time you have to pay for it in Reavers of Midgard, whether it be you're raiding the village or you're recruiting or whatever, right? You have the option to go out and do the same thing, and you also get a bonus if you follow as well. This type of game I just love. I love worker placement games anyway, but when there's something going on everybody's turn, it keeps everybody engaged, and it makes the game seem to go a lot quicker, even though the time frame may be the same as other games. It seems to go faster because everyone's engaged the entire time. More involved,
yeah. I love that.
And just the gameplay, the theme is awesome. I love Viking games. The Norse theme and Viking themes are fun. And anyway, I think it plays very, very nicely.
Yeah, lots of ways to earn points.
Yes, there are.
It's a great game. I really like Reavers of Midgard quite a bit. I do wish we played it more. And I know our good friend Nathan Tenney, he absolutely loves the card game version of Reavers of Midgard.
He did.
Probably his favorite.
He did really like it.
His favorite.
He went and bought it because he liked it so much, and then maybe decided he didn't. I don't know. Sorry, Nathan.
No, I'm pretty sure it's still his favorite. All right. Okay, quick countdown. My number 30 was Dinogenics. 29 was Undaunted, Normandy or North Africa. Take your pick. 28 was Final Girl. 27 was Dune Imperium. 26 was Earthborn Rangers. 25 was A Feast for Odin. 24, ISS Vanguard. 23, Stars of Ikarios. 22, Too Many Bones. 21, The Reckoners. And then my number 20 is one that I know we're going to hear a lot more about, I think, from both of you in the future. I really love this game, and I think I just need a little bit more time playing it. I think both of you have played this way more than I have. This is Marvel Zombies. And so this is like Zombicide, but Marvel.
Awesome.
Marvel.
But even better than Zombicide, which I love Zombicide.
Yeah. It really is fantastic. This is a wonderful, wonderful version of Zombicide, and I just have really, really high hopes for Deceased, which looks like it's going to play very similar, but I like that they're introducing items back into the game in a little bit of a different way. Anyway, lots of fun stuff to be excited about there. Marvel Zombies is great. The Galactus, that was such a great scenario.
That was.
And I'd really like to try that again so that we can potentially beat it. But it's just really great. The sculpts on the pieces are really great. The characters feel thematic and fun. It's a huge, like it's definitely a challenge, right? Like every time we've played this, but we've never played a game where it's been just like a total gimme. There's always some real challenge to it. We've lost as many times as we've won, and I think
we've lost more. I've lost more than I've won.
Sure, yeah. Well, and we kind of deliberately pick some of the harder missions and stuff. True. So, but that to me is such a sign of a great cooperative game, is that when it's challenging and it's not just a gimme to win every time. Anyway, I know we'll hear more about this later. So, Marvel Zombies, my number 20.
All right,
that's a good number 20.
I thought so.
It should be better though.
It could have been a lower number, but yeah.
Is it a lower number or a better number? Anyways, now that we're not talking about worm span or dragon span, whatever that is.
What are you even talking about? Why are you bringing that up?
Yeah, why are you bringing that up?
What is the other span?
Worm span.
Worm span and wingspan. Yeah, anyways.
Okay.
So what game does it better?
I just looked at your list and now I see
Raising Robots. Raising Robots, my number 19.
Raising Robots is fantastic.
I really enjoy Raising Robots. I love the variety of the robots that you're trying to build and get them to function, and running through that route to be able to power everything and take those actions on your turn. I really think Raising Robots does that mechanic, although Wormspan does it pretty good too. I very much enjoy the delving into the dragon of Wormspan.
I've got news for you, Nathan. Wingspan is also very good.
Yes, it is.
It is very good.
Yep, he's not wrong. I've played Raising Robots once, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a fun game.
Yeah,
we need to play it again.
It is a great game. Yeah.
It is. It truly is. When we were going through and doing rankings, right? So I ranked all my games to get the top 30 or whatever. This one hit at number 34 for me. So
really?
Didn't quite make my top 30 list, but 34. So it was very close. And I mean, that's saying something considering, I only have half a dozen plays of it.
Yeah.
So it's a very good game.
Yep. I very much like that.
You are
like that.
You are in like with that.
Yeah. So that's my number 19, Raising Robots.
Awesome. All right. My number 19 is Thunderstone Quest. This is a game that we really do not get to the table enough, but I love Thunderstone anyway. Thunderstone, the original Thunderstone, Thunderstone Advanced, I've thoroughly enjoyed over the years, but then they just went and made it even better with Thunderstone Quest. They've made the dungeon more interesting. You have two sides of the dungeon, and then each of the rooms in the dungeon, when you enter them, have different things that can happen. The monsters that come out. Anyway, they just made it interesting. But the coolest part, the part I love, is the fact that you get to keep an upgraded card. Keep a card in your starting deck as part of the campaign. So I do like that. You get to start a little bit better than you were in the first game, and then a little bit better than you were in the second game. And you get the boon if you won, then you get the chance to choose your card first of cards that you had purchased during that specific game. And then once a card has been picked, no one else can pick that card. And so there are definitely benefits to winning the game, game over game as you're going through the campaign. But it's just fun game. I love it. I would love to finish a campaign with this. We've never really finished it. We've started it, but we just run into the same problem. The problem we've had with this is just getting the same people to show up.
That's what it was. That's what killed
always
it.
the problem.
Yeah. Because we started it with I want to say like 5 people.
Yeah.
And then it was this was one of the first campaigns that we started actually when I joined Meeple Nation. Yeah. And this game does a lot that's very admirable. I liked it quite a bit, and it's one that I would definitely want to go back to.
Yeah, I think that's what the secret with campaign games is, to leave it around 3, never more than 4, just so you can get the same people to show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do not disagree.
Yeah. Always makes you kind of feel a little bit bad when you say, hey, well, you're not in the cool kid table.
Yeah, just call it scheduled ahead of time. Okay, this is scheduled on this night, but everybody else come and play games.
Yeah.
You want to start your own campaign game with the other guys? Do it.
Do it.
All right, that's my number 19.
The other game.
I do get what you're saying though, Nathan.
should
And
play
at some
yourself.
point we should have a more lengthy conversation about that because that is a real challenge. I would actually like to know what some people do to try to solve that because when you get different players, you don't want to exclude people. And, but sometimes it ends up being like you got a lot of people and then you got a lot of thumb twirling and well, what are we going to play? How are we going to make this work? When it's like, truthfully, a lower player count would allow us to play some of these games that we really want to. And I don't know how you walk that line. I really don't. Cause, for me, people are more important than the games. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really tough one. Anyway, moving on, my number 19 is Western Legends. I adore this game. In fact, I adore it so much, I have everything tricked out for this game. I've got the big neoprene mat with the expansion stuff all included in it. I've got the 3D terrain. I've got the upgraded components with the like real poker chips and all that good stuff. I love that this is just a big Western sandbox game. I love that you can go the path of the outlaw or that you can put on your marshal badge and go the way of the lawman. I love that you can go fight the bad guys or rob a train or, steal some cattle or, hey, you can go deliver the cattle or you can go prospecting for gold.
I need to play this.
Yeah, it's
Did you
so
not
good.
play it when we were at Julie's house?
No, I didn't. I wasn't in that game.
I thought who was in that game were you in?
You
that
need to
game?
look that game up because you
do.
keep talking about it and I don't know, but it was one of the first Hug a Meeple cons and I was not there. That was before my time, but it's such a fun, like sandboxy style game. You can just go play poker. Like you can go gamble like the whole time to earn points and that's fine too. You can buy lots of gear. You can get a better horse and a better gun and all kinds of stuff. There was one game that we played back in the day when I was playing with Chandler and Mike. And there, like one of the items you can buy at one of the shops is like a whiskey bottle. And it has the effect, like you can basically go and hit an opponent with it. Like you discard it, but you smack them with it and take some of their stuff, knock them out with a whiskey bottle. And there was a couple rounds there where they were just going after the whiskey bottle so that they could buy them, go to the other player and smack them and take all their stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Which is, it sounds so dumb, but it's like, that is an option in the game, right? Not necessarily winning strategy, but it's something you can do. And that's awesome. So really, really fun game. I love Western Legends and I want to play it again soon.
Nice. Yeah, I need to play that game. It sounds really fun. I mean, we've talked about that multiple times on the podcast. And every time you described it, I'm like, man, I really have got to play that game.
Yeah, it's good.
Sandbox games are fun.
stuff.
I love them.
Yeah, it's very good.
All right. Well, my number 18 is a game that is Planet Unknown, a game that I love to play. It's one of my facial spatial games. It's very facial. Very.
You lay on the table and have people rub your face, or this is
a very special spatial facial game. I don't know.
Wow.
I have no idea where I'm going with that.
Me neither.
But it's a spatial orientation game where you're trying to, or that's probably the wrong word to use too. What is it? It's a spatial.
Yeah, I mean, it has polyominoes.
It's a polyomino game that you're trying to get your pieces to get together on your planet and complete the terraforming of the planet. I love this game. Yeah. And when it first came out, I was way excited to get it. I got it when it was first street released. Didn't back it, and I wish I had, but we're still anxiously waiting. Should be any time now, right?
I think it got pushed to Q1 next year.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's all production issues and things like that. It just takes time. I mean, it's the thing in this hobby, right?
Yep.
Just depends on how far up the queue you're willing to pay for when you push print on your game.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I'm so looking forward to the Super Moon, or I think it's called the Super Moon expansion.
Super Moon or Super Planet, something like that.
Yeah,
yep.
And it's Moon, whatever it is.
Okay, Super Moon. Yep.
And the lid, of course, which is going to be an ideal thing because that game has you bump it and then it's like playing 52 card pickup. It's
not to be stored on its side.
Yeah, definitely not to be stored on its side. But way looking forward to that expansion coming out. But Planet Unknown it's 6 players. It's super accessible. And then once you're familiar with it, you flip those boards over to play on the asymmetrical side. You flip over your the faction tile, the corporation tile to the asymmetric side, and that game goes from yes to heck yes.
Oh yeah, there's
really
no
does.
reason to ever play. Once you've got the game down, play it once, maybe once. If you have non-gamers or beginner gamers at the table, Otherwise, there's no reason to not play with the asymmetrical side.
Yeah. Yep.
Great
It
game.
makes that game fantastic for sure.
Awesome pick. My number 18 is Maracaibo. I know that you guys have a little Maracaibo fatigue because of stupid online games, but I still love Maracaibo. And this is one where last year at BGG, so a year ago, when I went with just my girls, we learned Pirates of Maracaibo, and yet it wasn't available. So we got back and I ordered Maracaibo because I'm like, heck, if Pirates of Maracaibo was that fantastic, then I want to try Maracaibo. And it didn't disappoint. It was awesome. We have quite a few plays of this in, like physical plays that count.
Yeah.
And we have had a ton of fun playing this.
Yeah, it's a very good game. And you're right. There was like maybe a little bit of fatigue because of online play. But honestly, then we played Pirates and I was like, well, now I just want to play Pirates.
I know. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's
You're not
kind
wrong.
that's kind of what it is for me.
I would still play either. I mean, I would still play Maracaibo over Pirates if, let's be honest, I probably wouldn't. But because it's just a better game.
Yeah, no, it is. And good news, Andy. I don't know if you are aware of this, but there is an expansion coming out for Pirates of Maracaibo.
Ooh, I did not know
I
that.
thought you were going to say it's coming to BGA. And I was like, he's going to reach across the table and slap you.
No, but I am excited for an expansion.
That's awesome.
Do like that a lot.
But it's Pirates of Maracaibo's Commanders. So coming sometime next year.
Oh, I'm excited about that. That's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well because exactly like Doug said, Maracaibo was great, but honestly, I kind of think Pirates of Maracaibo broke it.
Yeah.
Not broke it, but I just like
It's still a great game, but-
Which one am I gonna pick? I'm
Yeah.
gonna totally pick Pirates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate, I've said this before, but I hate saying that like something replaced another game.
Yeah.
But it kind of did. It didn't fully, but it kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
There are some nuances that I really like about Maracaibo.
Yeah.
You don't get with Pirates,
For sure.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's a different enough game that I would still love to play it.
Yeah.
Even if I've had the option for Pirates, and it's been a while since we played it. So honestly, I'd love to get it to the table sooner rather than later.
For sure.
Definitely. All right. Well, my number 18 is a game I was really grateful that we did get to play at BGG Con last month. And that was Lost Ruins of Arnak. And, you guys have voiced some of your concerns over this game. I really like it. I like the efficiency puzzle with the resources. I like trying to noodle out how you're going to work up the track on the side and how you're going to get the resources you need, comboing like the different types of cards, and trying to like build a hand or a deck that sort of like synergizes with what you're trying to do to get those resources. I like that it's tight with the workers. You only have 2 that you can throw out there. You've really got to make them count. You've got to do like big things to try to like I said, get those resources that you need. It puts you in a fun position where a lot of it's strategic, but then you have moments where you can kind of gamble. Like you can, it's like, okay, I need this specific combo of resources and I might be able to make something work, but it's really going to depend on what I get when I go and explore this location. And so, while a lot of it is strategy, some of it is, sort of luck when it comes to going out and sort of pushing that exploration board a little bit. I like the components on it. I like the way it looks. I like that sort of Indiana Jones kind of vibe to it. It's one that I would want to play all the time, and especially with expedition leaders, asymmetric players, or powers. And then there's kind of the Lost Expedition one that kind of is a little more of a campaign style, introduces a story and a campaign to it. So, and I haven't played that yet, but I'm looking forward to it in the future. So this is a game I really like. Lost Ruins of Arnak.
I'm actually glad we played it because it did revive the game a little bit for me. I'm anxious to get it to the table again. And we had to end up cutting that game a little short because we were going out to dinner with Berkey. But
we played 4 of the 5 rounds, and it was enough to determine like a winner. It was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine.
And there's still so much of that game that I the point or at the time we stopped, I think I was ahead, but I don't know if
Was it Nathan's idea to quit? Because Nathan
yes,
was
probably. Yeah, it was like I'm winning. Let's be done. But no,
that was an option. This changes everything.
This changes everything. Yes, for sure. But I very much enjoyed revisiting that, and I would like to get it to especially with the asymmetric powers. I would like to get it to the table again. I think you would like it more.
I
Andy,
would
too.
I would really like to try it with the asymmetrical powers. I really do, because I haven't enjoyed the I think I played it twice, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it. It was just kind of just kind of meh.
Same way for me.
But asymmetrical powers, and I haven't played it with any of the expansions, so maybe it's one of those that hopefully the expansions made the game better, and I would 100% be willing to try again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think you'll change your mind. I think you'll like it with the asymmetric for sure.
Cool.
All right, back to me. My number 17 is a wonderful game called Milli Fiori, and I love this game. Not Milli Vanilli, but Milli Fiori.
A great game.
Yes, I love the dual use of the cards, and just the brightness of this game stands out very good. Sounds out very well. The pieces are very bright.
There's so many ways to score points.
Yeah,
it's
all
awesome.
over the table.
Yeah.
Milli Fiori's. It's one, and we got the new expansion for it. We haven't tried that. This is one that I'm kind of surprised that we don't hit the table more often, because I really enjoy this game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It is good. Very good, actually.
But that's Milli Fiori.
Okay, so my number 17 is From the Moon.
I'm surprised this is 17. I thought this would be a lot higher on yours.
I need to get it played a little bit more. I love it. It might be because I felt a little bad the last time we played.
Because Greg was crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided I can't play the cyborgs unless I'm playing with Dave or Richie, and then I won't feel bad at all.
Because then you can make them cry. I don't care about that.
Yeah, it would be my personal mission.
Greg has big crocodile tears.
No, and it's not that I was necessarily trying to work everybody over. In fact, it was, who else was, it was Brad.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Brad was actually doing really well. No, it wasn't Brad. It was,
That was Brad.
no, it was Mike. It was Mike.
Was it Mike?
Yeah. Because Mike was in the lead for most of the game, and then my engine,
that's right. And then
my engine started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was building it for like the first 3 rounds, and then it took off. And
then everybody's like, dumb game.
Oh, I love this game, though. It's so much fun. Once again, it's another one of those games that can score you a lot of points, but I think my favorite part about it, and it's very, I guess, typical of Andy, is the asymmetrical powers.
Yeah.
And it makes you play the game in a completely different way depending on which faction you start the game with, or you're playing for that game. Because not only do you have an asymmetrical power that you're going to be able to take advantage of throughout the game, but you also have a unique building that is going to work in tandem with that ability that you have. And oh my gosh, if you can get those out early and really take advantage of the strengths of that faction that you're playing, it can be a game changer. And it's interesting to see how each of them play differently. Some of them are right out of the chutes. You're rolling fast, you're moving. Other ones are this slow burn, and then once you get everything set up, you just all of a sudden explode in points. And I really enjoy the puzzle aspect of it. I love the fact that there are, like we said, there's tons of ways to score points. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of strategy involved. And it's a great game. I love it.
Yeah. One to hit the table more often too.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a big box, cool pieces, fun to snap your little astronauts in there. Those astronauts need to be a little bit stronger though.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm always nervous I'm going to break mine or put the magnets in wrong.
What? Really?
Yeah, somebody's a moron. Just be careful if you're going to trick yours out with magnets. Put them all in the right way.
Yeah, make sure that the magnets are polarized the right way before you glue them.
Before you glue them.
Yes.
My number 17 is Revive.
This is a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game that's made even better by the expansion, Call of the Abyss or Call to the Abyss, one of those. And no, I love it. This is a great game. It has such a fun, like, engine building tableau element to it. Really great multi-use cards. You are playing those cards out, triggering as many things as you can. You're exploring the central map. All the while you're trying to make sure that you're setting yourself up to explore those corners where you can really earn a lot of points. You're trying to work up several tracks and accomplish goals. And then that really cool engine that you have in front of you that has like all the little recessed tracks where you're moving all your nodes and kind of exploding every time you hit one of those nodes and being able to trigger a bunch of stuff. I adore this game, and I just really wish we could play it more often.
This pick makes me sad because I've only played it once.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really enjoyed it. It is a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it's great. Revive is a wonderful game. It's, I think, a little overlooked, although...
Guess what?
What?
You have it?
It's on BGA.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, who cares
It's in
about
the
that?
alpha state right now. But
Oh, you got to be kidding. That's great news. I like that a lot. Everyone should go check out Revive. It's definitely worth at least trying to play at a convention or something like that. I do know that for some it was a little bit overlooked, but it is fantastic. Revive, my number 17.
I got distracted going to BGA to make sure that was the one that was on there. It is.
Nice. Can't wait
See,
for that.
Andy, fun games are there.
Can that be played one player?
It might be.
I might be willing to try it then.
Wow.
Life isn't a one-player game, Andy. So my number 16 is a classic game that I just love. One of the very few rule books that I was very entertained while reading through, and this is Galaxy Trucker. Galaxy Trucker is one of those games that it's all about the frantic trying to build. You're going to dump out a bunch of tiles in the middle of the board, and you're trying to compete over 3 races, and you're trying to score the most points. You score points by delivering goods, defeating pirates, sending your astronauts over to claim lost ships. Lots of little fun ways to win and score points. But the biggest thrill of this game is building your ship, beginning the race, and seeing whose ship gets destroyed first. Because it's kind of a bummer when everybody's
Spoiler
ship
alert.
makes it through.
It's mine.
Yeah, it's probably yours, Doug.
I really liked this game. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it.
Yeah, and this is a game that I always made the mistake of trying to introduce somebody to all of Galaxy Trucker because there's lots of expansions.
You definitely need to start with the base game.
And so I went through and got over my bad teaching ability and went and actually purchased a second copy so that I have one that is just the base game, so that when you're teaching somebody new to the game, you have just the base game. That way you don't have to fiddle through trying to find all the pieces that are out, and then somebody's in the middle of the game. What does this piece do? And but when you can get with the basic game and just have a blast. You know, you have this pile of tiles there. You're going to reach in, pull one out. Hopefully it'll fit on your ship. If it doesn't, you throw it back in the pile and you grab a new one, bring it back over and try to piece together. And you want lasers. You want as many lasers as you can get because lasers are important. And you want as many thrusters as you can get because thrusters are important. You want as much cargo space as you can get because cargo space is important. And but if everything's important, you know, what do you prioritize?
Yes.
And that's the joy of the game, right? Everything is super important. Yeah. And to try to put that together, and then each round your ship gets bigger, so there's more edges to have lasers, more edges to have thrusters, and more places for stuff to get destroyed.
more surface area to get blasted.
Yeah.
I am not a huge fan of racing games, but I love this game because the racing part is... Who cares?
Yeah.
It's more of a shipbuilding game with a racing element.
Yeah, it totally is.
And it is a blast out when your ship gets destroyed and you're like, oh, man. Yeah. It's good times. Galaxy Trucker, a classic game that deserves to be my number 16.
It's a great game. Such a fun game.
Awesome.
All right, so my number 16 is Everdell. Now, I would put this in here with not just Everdell, the base game, but with the... Oh, now that I've said that, I just had a brain fart on the sorry. Oh,
Pearlbrook?
heck. No. Oh, heavens, no, that's the worst one.
Oh, is that the worst one?
Spirecrest?
Spirecrest, thank you. I will say Everdell, but with the Spirecrest expansion. Everdell is a game that is one that you have to, I almost think you have to play it at least twice to get your head wrapped around exactly how everything works, especially for resource generation in particular, because it can be a little tricky. I know that the multiple times I've taught this game to new people, you can definitely see the difference. Someone who's brand new and learning the game to someone who has played it, and just their resource generation, how many resources they have when they end up passing for that first season and go into the next one. Usually the more veteran players tend to last a little longer in each season because they have resources to spend. They can manage their actions a little bit more versus the newer player kind of hasn't quite got that figured out yet, runs out of resources, moves right into the next season so that they can generate more resources with their production.
Yeah, you have to understand the card play.
Totally do.
Right, before you can, I think, really understand how to get a good resource engine going.
Yeah, and that's just it. There is definitely an engine building element involved, especially for resource generation. I mean, you want to score points ultimately, which a lot of those cards are going to do, but you've got to get that engine built up so that you can manage to score those points and get the synergies from the cards too, because you can start playing cards for free without needing resources if you get the right cards out in play, and that will allow you to play the card that it matches it. So if you have you want the shopkeeper, for example, you can play the shopkeeper for free. But the go-to never play without expansion is the Legends expansion. I'll never, ever, ever play that game without the Legends expansion. I've played it without Spirecrest, and it's been fine, but I'll never play it without the Legends expansion. It's one that should always be in the game.
Yeah.
And having that unique card, those two unique cards, a unique construction and a unique critter that only you have the option of playing and getting the effects of, just makes it a lot more fun, in my opinion. But it's a fun game.
I would even argue that some of the Belfair modules are like, at this point, anytime we play it, we always throw those modules in.
Yeah, that's another one that doesn't add. It just adds more options. It's not like it adds anything as far as time-wise to the game. It's just adding more options, which I think is always great.
Yep. And it's got great options for expansions. Pearlbrook, New Leaf, and Spirecrest. I think they all have their strengths. I do agree that Spirecrest is the best, but I think that they all have something to offer.
I think so too. I think Pearlbrook is the weakest of all of them.
Probably. Yeah, I think that's true.
New Leaf was great. I enjoyed it. I've only played it twice. But the 2 times I played it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Pearlbrook.
New Leaf adds a lot of end game stuff.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I've played Pearlbrook twice as well, and I kind of was left with I wish we would have played one of the other expansions. Both times we've played it. So yeah. Anyway, it made my number 16. I really, really enjoy Everdell.
Good pick. It was my number 33. If we had gone higher than 30. So very, very good. My number 16 is Wonderland's War. I adore the theme on this. The Manny Tremblay art, I think, is done really, really well. I enjoy the sort of tea party phase that you have before you go out and battle. I enjoy that you are building a bag, right? So it's a bag building game, very adjacent to deck building, which is something that we all really like. I enjoy how conflict is resolved and how it is area control, but you're not always, sometimes you're not trying to control the area. Sometimes you're just trying to meet the objective on a card. And so there's a lot of different ways and avenues to score points and things to do. Everybody has an asymmetric whole board of things they can upgrade and sort of grow into. Lots of really, really fun options on Wonderland's War. Components are great. I mean, this is just a winner chicken dinner all around.
This is one I was really hoping we'd get a chance to play at BGG. It was one that was pretty high on my list because I really want to play this.
Oh, you have not played it yet?
I haven't played this yet.
You would like it.
Oh, man. Yeah, we definitely need to play it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wonderland's War is awesome. Yeah, it's really good.
I think you would very much enjoy it, Nathan.
Excellent. All right, jumping to number 15. My number 15 is I wondered if I wanted to team this up like I did Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, but after reviewing my list, well, I didn't go with the sci-fi theme, Andy.
What?
I didn't. I went with the fantasy theme.
Wow.
And that is Shadows over Camelot. So the other game that is very much in hand with that is Battlestar Galactica, which has now been re-implemented as...
Wait, these two are
Unfathomable.
These two are like similar?
Very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you not played?
I've never played Shadows. No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Nothing about it.
Do I have all my pieces back on that, Andy?
Yeah.
We should play that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if it's like Battlestar Galactica or Unfathomable, I'm definitely down to try it because I like both of those games. I think I like Unfathomable a little more just because I think they streamline and clean some stuff up, but I really like both of those games a lot. So if this plays like those, I'm in.
Yeah, it plays very similar. Yeah. It doesn't have the Destiny deck. Is it the Destiny deck? I think that players are adding, but it has a very similar feel of hidden role. One person is most of the knights are loyal, and 1 to 2 people can be traitors. And there are several games where it can be all loyal knights.
I do think, and I haven't played Battlestar enough to really know intimately the abilities of all the characters. Shadows over Camelot I have, but I think the abilities of the knights really work and mesh very well together, and really, I mean, you have to work together anyway, but it makes it so that's okay. Galahad, we really need Galahad to come over here. Okay, I'm Arthur, so I'm gonna kind of float around because I can give people extra actions, and I think it really pushes people to work together, which makes it difficult, but can make it, I think, a little easier to. That was an oxymoron. I think it makes it a little.
Way to pull an Nathan.
I know, right? I think it makes it actually a little easier to be the trader, because you can totally look like you're helping, and you're using that ability in a way that makes the most sense, right? That yes, I'm loyal, but at the same time you're in the background, right? You're drawing cards and putting cards down. It's like, oh, this is the only card I can put down or whatever, right? And I'm not a huge fan of hidden role, but as far as I cannot talk tonight. As far as Shadows over Camelot, I was going to try to say Shadows of Brimstone. As far as Shadows over Camelot, I think this is one of the better ones that I like, but it could be just because it's fantasy themed. I have enjoyed our plays of Battlestar Galactica, and honestly, it really surprises me that this beat out Battlestar. You didn't put Battlestar on.
Yeah, no, I was a little surprised too. I think this one, it's a little bit easier if you are the trader.
I think so.
It's a little bit easier to blend in.
Yeah.
Whereas in Battlestar, if you're trying to blend in too much, you end up
losing.
Yeah. And so this is the trader element, and it is easier to hide. It's harder to trust people, because everything that somebody's doing could be both very beneficial to the group or could be very beneficial to the trader.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna place a catapult out here when you really didn't need to, and that last time we played, we lost because of the catapults.
Yeah. Yep, lots of ways to lose that game.
Yes, there are.
And but that's a great game. Shadows over the Camelot. Shadows over the Camelot.
The Camelot.
Yes,
I'm with you, Nathan.
The Camelot, much like the Ohio State.
yes, absolutely.
All right, my number 15 we have talked about already, and that is Gloomhaven. I would love to get Frosthaven going. Gloomhaven / Frosthaven. I would love to get either of these going again, to be honest, but I would love to really get Frosthaven to the table and start exploring that. I just need to get a steady group of people that want to play games on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we need to start getting another day.
Another game night, dare we? Our wives would kill us.
My wife wouldn't, because she's at work on Wednesday nights. That's why I'm saying Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Anyway, we've had a lot of plays of Gloomhaven. I've only had one play of Frosthaven, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this game. It is one that I have some fun memories of, trying different characters out. Of course, for some reason, Dave always gets the characters that loot everything.
Is it the character or is it the player?
It might.
It's the player.
It could be both, but for some reason, he always finds the guy with like a million loot cards.
Yeah.
I don't know how
You're
he does
not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about the burnout that I have for Gloomhaven. I would definitely like to try Frosthaven for sure. The one I've been jonesing to get to the table, though, is Jaws of the Lion.
It's a great...
Because I feel like more of a condensed, I like the word digestible. We used that earlier, but I like more of a digestible campaign seems very appealing to me for a Gloomhaven title. So yeah, that's great.
Ooh, I wonder if I can get my son-in-law to play Frosthaven. He likes cooperative games. I'm having a hard time getting him to play anything.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
I think Jaws of the Lion for Amara and Matthew would be a great opportunity.
I bet it would. Yeah, I bet
try that.
Get Amara, Matthew, and Sabrina in on that.
Yeah, maybe. If I can get those two kids to play, I might be able to get my wife to play.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 15 is another one that I have a feeling we're going to hear about later on, but it is Return to Dark Tower. I love this game. This is such a great game. And man, Restoration Games, they did such a good job on that tower.
Oh, they nailed it.
The app integration, the way it just lights up, the sounds, the way it spits those skulls out and makes everyone at the table jump. I love it. I really, really adore this game. The characters that we have to play, especially with both of the expansions now, I think are super fun. All of them. I think I want to say there's at least 10 now, maybe 12, but they all feel very, thematic and asymmetric. They do different, unique things, and they're just a ton of fun to play. Lots of options in terms of what monsters you face out on the board. Yeah. And we've had just so many really epic, great plays of this where we pull out the TV and cast it so everyone can see it. And you got the tower and the mat and everyone's, good to go. And, man, like 2 to 4 hours, depending on the scenario of just fantastic fun.
And it's one of those games that, it may take 4 hours.
It doesn't feel like it.
Oh, it so does not feel like it.
Yeah. Nope. Does not at all. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Good pick.
All right, I'm going to number 14. My number 14 is From the Moon. Apparently, I liked it more than you, Andy.
I'm shocked, actually. I'm shocked. I knew it was going to be on his list. I'm amazed it's on your list, and I'm amazed it's higher than Andy's.
Yeah, I am too. I really am. I did like the game. The game is very well done, and I very much want to play the game again for sure. But
Yeah.
It's
maybe not with Andy.
Wonder what? Wait, what?
Just needs a PGA implementation, so I don't have to play with Andy.
Gosh.
Oh, good grief.
What a jerk. All right. I'm going to change my number 14 now. My number 14 is Star Wars Imperial Assault.
That should be a lot higher.
Well, it should be if it were your opinion, but it's not. It's my opinion.
That's true. Fine.
And maybe it would be a little higher. I'm comparing it to Descent 2nd Edition, right? Because it plays so similarly. I just think Descent is stronger as far as character customization, because you're not forced to pick in Descent 2nd Edition, you're not forced to pick a specific class. You play a character, you gain that character's deck in Star Wars Imperial Assault. I've played with the app and with someone playing the Empire, and I've enjoyed both of them. So as far as that goes in the gameplay, I think it's awesome. And honestly, it probably should be a little higher now that I'm talking about it, it probably should be a little higher on my list, just because of my love for dungeon crawls. And it's a Star Wars dungeon crawl. What is there not to love about this game? But yeah, this is one that we've talked about for months and months and months, maybe even years, that we need to get to the table and have not yet done it. In fact, I think we have one game left on a campaign that we were playing.
There's nothing to see here.
And I think we hit Nathan's goal and then stopped playing. So
This isn't the campaign you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happened.
I don't think that's exactly what happened, but it did fizzle.
Yeah, with one game left. I think we only had one game left. It might have been one or two, depending
I can't
on.
remember what it was that stopped us. It wasn't just that I'd scratched off my 10 for 10, but
Wasn't it? It was in December when we stopped playing.
it could be. It could be that we were trying to get my other 10 for 10s.
That could be. But
Which is probably why I don't do the 10 for 10s anymore.
I'm so glad. But it's a great game, worth the play, and I think Fantasy Flight nailed it on this one.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm probably going to
amazing
talk about
game.
this one a little more later, too. I just have a feeling.
Probably a lot less now, though.
Maybe. Are we?
I don't know.
The Imperial Assault's awesome. I do feel like with some of those games, like we talk about wanting to get them back out, we've played them enough and have, I think all of us dived in and experienced enough of them that we do sort of put them on the they're sort of in that like mental category of like, I've definitely played that game. I've played a lot of that game. I've enjoyed it and loved it and played a lot of it. And I think sometimes when we're looking for the next game we want to play, we're looking at some of the new stuff.
That is true.
And we're reading new rule books and we want to get some of that stuff out. And it's a little harder to go back to those games, even though we all absolutely want to. It's just a little bit harder because
Of the podcast.
sure. Well, and just the fact that we have played so much of it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of logged plays of that game. And so we go, okay, well, it's great. We would like to go back to it, but we've got other things.
Well, we have other things that, like Nathan said, we need to talk about. Nobody wants to hear about Star Wars Imperial Assault every week for a month.
I could do it. I could tolerate that.
Oh,
I could stand to hear a little more.
It is a great game. It's the Star Wars game, in my opinion.
Agreed.
All right. My number 14 is, it's a game that this year has just wormed its way into my heart. I love this game so much. This is Let's Go to Japan.
This is a great game.
It is a great game. The art and components on this are fantastic. And I, of course, got the deluxe, right? So it's got like the cool little bowls, the ceramic bowls. So you can put all the components in. And I, got all the deluxe upgraded everything that, the neoprene, all of that. And it is such a fun game. And it's fast.
Yeah.
Like it's really fast. It's a lot of simultaneous play. You're building out your tableau and then everyone's going to run through and score the week that they had in Japan, going through each day, scoring your stuff, moving your tokens up, and the decisions that it makes you make about how to line up the iconography, the bonuses you want to take, the bottom of the card has a bonus, and knowing which one of those you want to leave at the top so that it's the one that scores, because you can only have one per day that scores.
Yep, one highlight.
Yep, one highlight. I love that. Like I said, the artwork on this is fantastic. Me and my wife are hopefully planning a trip to Japan soon to return. And so, every time I play this, I'm like, yeah, we need to go do that.
You should totally
we need
invite
to go do that.
friends to your
We need to go
return
eat
trip
that.
to Japan, because I would love to go to Japan,
Yeah.
but I would love to go with somebody who
Can read kanji.
Yeah.
Someone who can speak it. Yeah.
Speak
Japanese.
some of it, yeah. At least anything.
I mean, it's been a little while, but I did live there for a couple of years, and no, I can still get around. I mean, I'm not like fluent anymore, but I can speak enough to get around. So I'm really looking forward to going back, and this game makes me excited. This game's fantastic. It's such a good game.
So BGA has a great implementation of this too, Andy. But we just played. And I can't
Did you hear
remember,
that?
Did I play against?
That's me not caring.
Did I play this against you, Doug? Or was it? I can't remember if it was you or Richie. But I did one where all I did was stay in Kyoto.
Oh, nice.
So everything was all in Kyoto with some of my Universal Studios, Universal Cities, Universal.
The cards that can be either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I stayed in Kyoto, so I didn't have to worry about any bus transfers or train transfers, and I was able to get the tokens to help advance my highlights. And I did very well on that game. I think I was 144 to 111.
Wow!
And so it was quite a lead that I was able to accrue by staying all in one city, which is something I hadn't done. You know, there's a couple of times where I've been really close. Only had like 3 cards that were in Tokyo versus Kyoto or vice versa. Did a lot of walks, but allowed those walks to get me to what I needed so that I could score some points.
Nice.
Awesome. Yep. Great game.
All right. So my number 13, let me do a quick perusal. Make sure this is my number 1 hidden roll game. Yes, this looks like my number 1 hidden roll game.
I think so.
And this is Feed the Kraken. And I love this as a hidden roll game because it's a fairly quick hidden roll game. And you can play either as a pirate, as a sailor, or you can be one of the cult members or even possibly the cult leader. A lot of variety in the ways the rolls work. This is I just very much enjoy how quick this is, and that even if you're not a cult leader sometimes, or even if you're not part of the cult, you're still kind of leading towards some of those pirates or the sailors, depending on who has control. And just it's funny how often most of those games have ended where, you know, we're going right up the middle and it could be anyone's game. And
plus, you get to mutiny. I mean, what's a pirate game if you don't get to mutiny?
Yeah,
right?
You get to pull out your pistols and and be able to mutinize. I don't know if that's the word it is now, but you can throw somebody off the boat and hopefully you're the cult leader and you get thrown off the boat.
The bolt. Yeah.
But Feed the Kraken, fairly new game. Upgraded components if you can get those, if you did the Kickstarter, or you can go to the website and buy the deluxeified edition.
Yeah, I'm having a memory of someone who had like a ho-hum version for a while, and then
he was very disappointed with that version.
I was very disappointed and hunted down the expensive copy.
Bought a second copy?
Yes, yeah. But I was able to sell the original one.
Who did that?
And
I'll give you one guess.
No, this is a great game, and it's one that it is my favorite hidden roll game as well, Nathan.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is. It's actually one that is a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs, and it is. I do love the fact that it plays quickly. It doesn't wear out its welcome at all.
Yeah, and it goes up to 11 people too,
which is kind of crazy. Yeah,
if I remember that count correct.
High player count.
Yeah,
yep. It's good. It's a good one.
All right, my number 13 is one we've already talked about, and that is Return to Dark Tower. We've had a ton of fun with this game, and ditto to what Doug said. It's awesome.
It is a good game that I would like to play a couple more times. I've only played it like twice.
Have you really? Oh, yeah, we definitely need to play it some more then.
Excellent. Okay, so my number 13 is one that's not going to be higher on anyone else's list at all. So one we will not talk about in the future, and that is Ark Nova. I adore this game. I think it's fantastic. I think it's number 2 or 3 or something like that on the BGG all-time top 100, whatever, for good reason. The card play on this is phenomenal. Building out your zoo, the decision space, the action selection mechanism of it, just the sheer volume of cards that are all unique, right? There's no duplicate cards in the entire game. Everything about this is incredibly fun and enjoyable. And it does make me sad that you guys had kind of a rough go with this game. I don't remember exactly what your complaints were, but I know that neither of you really cared for this very much, and it really landed for me. I like it quite a bit.
This is one that Dave broke for me.
Is that what it was? Okay. But Arc Nova, I think its accolades are well deserved.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I do need to give this game another try. My wife has expressed interest in playing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Because she has a coworker that talks about it all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's sometimes my wife has a game that she really likes. Like back in the day, she really liked Agricola. She played it once, and she just has fond memories of Agricola. And I'm like,
she liked the Castles of Burgundy.
She did. Yeah. I probably should still go try to find that.
The deluxeified copy.
Yeah.
Is there any other copy?
Yeah, there's not.
Not anymore.
No, there is not.
Oh, except for the BGA version.
I heard that there was a copy in the Game Swap for like $800.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Oh, the funny thing is I totally almost bought that. And because doesn't he have 2 copies of that?
I don't know, but the fact that you could buy it brand new for like $400 or something like that was funny.
And I'm just like, oh man, yeah. I know that's what you spent on it.
Hey,
but
when you quote unquote have to try to sell a game,
I guess that's true.
But you don't really want to sell a game.
That's true.
Just jack the price up.
Yeah,
that's true.
Honey, I swear I tried to sell it.
Nobody wanted it.
No one wanted it. Oh well.
Oh well, it's still here.
Guess we still have to keep it. Sorry.
Well, that's great. Now I totally forgot where we're at. Are we to meet number 12?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let's go number
course.
12. And this is, I'm lumping 3 games here in one. This is Pandemic Legacy Season 1, 2, and 0. These experiences have been phenomenal. I loved exploring these games. I played Pandemic Season 1 4 times. And to have gone through that 4 times and still be willing to go through it again is it's a testimony to the game that it is a good game for me. And
I've only played Legacy Season 1. I would love to play Season 2 and 0.
yeah, well, we have them over there. We play through the first scenario of Season 2.
So we need to get our group together that's going to do the Legacy games. We need to bust through Ticket to Ride, and then we need to jump right into Pandemic.
Sounds like a plan.
And then maybe by the time we get done with that, the Season 2 of Clank Legacy will be out.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because I actually got Season 1, a new copy that I need to go through again.
I would like that too.
Season 1 was so good.
Yeah.
That was from beginning to end the best Legacy experience I've ever had. It was so good. Clank was awesome. But Pandemic, also great.
Yes.
That Season 1 was genuinely really good. So I'm a little more like when I saw how Season 2 worked with the exploration, I got really excited about it.
Yeah, I really liked the exploration of Season 2 more than the others.
Sure.
Season 1, just the story exploration was there.
Yeah.
But in Season 2, the exploration just does make that game shine a little bit more, I think.
You are a bit of an exploration junkie.
I am. Yeah.
So.
That's why Seafall's awesome.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Well, that brings me to my number 12. That is Paladins of the West Kingdom. This is my favorite of all of Shem Phillips games, but definitely the strongest of the West Kingdom games for sure. This is just a fun worker placement game where you have you're placing workers on your own board, and it is one of those where you don't have workers that are your color workers. You have workers of different colors that you get to acquire at the beginning of the round, and each of those workers is going to be able to activate different locations on your board. I love the fact that you can build workshops to make it so a little bit cheaper. You don't need as many workers to activate certain abilities. I also love it that you have to diversify because certain actions are going to move you up on one of the other tracks that you're going to need to use for a different action. So you have requirements. So if you need your faith up higher for a specific action, the only way to raise your faith up is by taking one of these other 2 actions, which is requiring strength, for example, or is going to require influence. So you cannot just focus on one thing. It's forcing you to diversify throughout the game. Once again, lots of ways to score points. There's a lot going on. You're interacting. There are multi-use cards in the game as well. There are villagers that you can send out and dispatch. On quests, you can keep them into your village and use their abilities throughout the game. You also have outsiders that are coming in that you can either convert or that you can fight. You have monks that you're putting on the main board. There is so much going on with this game. I love it. It's one of those, it has an expansion for it, and honestly, I don't even think it needed it. I thought
that's a pretty good game all in the original state.
And there's enough going on with it that I honestly kind of feel like the expansion adds maybe a little bit too much for a lot of players. Or not necessarily so, because it's strong.
It was too much for me.
It's strong as it is, right? I don't get me wrong. I love the expansion. It plays nicely and it does add to the game, but there's enough going on with that game. Unless you are playing with people who know the game well, it's probably one that you want to keep in the box most of the time, unless people are well versed with it. But I love this game. It is easily my favorite Shem Phillips game.
Nice. Yeah, that whole series is pretty amazing to me, what he's managed to do with all of those games.
Continues to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
in my opinion, the West Kingdom
crazy.
series is the strongest of the three that are out right now. I think he's getting heavier. Like his latest one, Inventors of the South Tigris, it's
a pretty beefy game.
It's a pretty weighty game. Yeah, but
melted my brain.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, very cool. Right, my number 12 is Scythe.
Another one I need to play.
I love this
Have
game.
you not played Scythe at all?
I have not played Scythe.
It's so good. I obviously love to get it to the table. It is one that I've played on BGA a couple of times. There's an app that's really good for it. I just think it's a great design. If you like action selection games, it's very good. And even though there's definitely some elements of area control, you don't get the majority of your points through conflict. In fact, you can only get a maximum of 2 points through conflict. There might be one faction that breaks that rule. There is one faction that breaks that rule. But for the most part, it's all about getting your faction built out, getting your mechs, exploring, getting your upgrades done, like all of that stuff. So, and again, like that, the central conceit is that action selection mechanism that I think is so fun. And as you play and upgrade, all of those actions become more and more and more powerful. And I love that. The components are good. The artwork on this, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It's out of this world good. The expansions are great. I really like, the Wind's Gambit and Traders from Far or Travelers from Afar or whatever the one is that adds the two factions. Just an all around fantastic game. It's really high on like I said, BGA or BGG's top 100 for a reason. It's a great Stonemaier game. Really good. Scythe. Love it. Want to play more all the time.
Yeah, I need to play it more for sure as well.
I had actually not played this for a while, and me and Corey, he invited me to a game on PGA, and I was like, all right, well, we can do this. And I kind of forgot some of the nuance, and I just was having a hard time getting my engine going. And he stumbled across something that just it worked for him. And I was kind of muddling through it and taking turns with other games, and he crushed me. It was not close at all. It was a total blowout game. And I was like, wait a minute, I know how to play Scythe. This is dumb. What am I doing? And so we played another game, and I was like, no, I got to focus and actually think about my turns and stuff. And yeah, I beat him the second time we played.
Oh, good.
So there was a little redemption story for me there.
Corey and I are starting a game of Dinogenics. So
no, just on your own, huh?
I'm jealous. Not that you're playing it on BGA, but I'm just jealous because I want to play that game without a migraine.
Yeah, you should, because it's an awesome game.
That is really good.
I'm playing a game with you in Dinogenics too, and you and Richie.
I don't understand why I can't be part of all the Dinogenics games that you're playing online.
I need to get it down to one because it's hard to keep track of
It is.
multiple Dinogenics games. Like when I tried to play Earth multiple times with multiple. It was like it's all over the place. Yeah.
No bueno.
All right, number 11. So my last one of this episode is an amazing racing game, Andy, and that is Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
Heat.
And I
good pick. I
very
like this.
much enjoy Heat. It's a deck building game, all about hand management, learning when to discard your cards, learning when to play your cards better, more efficiently, and getting the right cards in your hand to make the best of your distance and to manage your heat.
Yeah, and when to take heat. It's good to take heat.
And it is good to take heat.
Yeah.
And it's better to always have heat in your engine, but sometimes you need to
cool her down.
Yep. And sometimes you need to put that pedal to the metal, and sometimes you need to lay it off a little bit. But Heat is a great game. Goes up to 6 players, 7 players with the Heavy Rain expansion. And that base box has room for one more car in there.
More expansions will definitely be coming for this. Yeah, it's awesome. And running the whole circuit with the card drafting and everything is particularly good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fairly easy game to learn how to play, but the strategy, if you want to do well and win, I think is that you got to peel back some layers and really think about what you're doing to get there. Because I actually think it's a deeper strategy game than most people give it credit for. When you really,
I totally agree.
Really start getting down into the nitty gritty of playing it.
Yep. Yeah, because it is all about that hand management. You know, when do you discard your big cards? When do you discard your little cards? Yep, very much.
Awesome.
Great. All right, my number 11 is a newly acquired game, but it actually made the list. And that is because I've played it quite a few times since we have all purchased it, but I've got my girls now asking to play it.
Nice.
So, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every single one of my plays. I even played with Dave, and Dave broke the game, and I still enjoyed my play. So, and that is Forges of Ravenshire. We were able to...
Did Dave break it worse than I'd broke it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he scored 165 points.
Oh, wow.
167 points.
He wasn't playing it right.
Yeah, he broke it. I'm sure he cheated. Anyway,
I'm sure he did too.
But no, this game is, we talked about this. This is one we were introduced to at BGG, and it's one that the designer, actually, Sam, he taught us this game, sat down and taught us this game. Now, there were 4 of us, so he didn't play it with us. He was kind enough to teach it and then just kind of...
Go away?
No, I'm trying to think of a proper way to say this. And sat there and joked around with us for a while.
Yeah, he taught it to us and then sat and chewed the fat.
Yep, and we had a good time. Sam has a great personality, but the game he designed, I was so pleasantly surprised how fun and how good it was. It's a almost like a worker replacement type mechanic like you have in Raiders of the North Sea, where you place a worker, take a worker, but then you also have your guilds that you get to upgrade and customize throughout the game, so that you get to, not only when you take that die off the board and activate the ability on the board, you're going to place it on your personal board on the matching guild, and then activate everything that you have upgraded that guild with. And that's just in the gathering phase. And then you get to take all those wonderful resources and mystics that you've gained during the gathering phase and build some cool weapons, armor, or shields, and try to become the master smith in the village. It's a wonderful game. It plays over 4 rounds. And just the gameplay and everything, everyone that I played it with has thought it's just a wonderful game, has sung its praises. So the naysayers can continue to be naysayers. I think it's a wonderful game, and it's my number 11.
Yeah, no, this isn't the game I broke. It was Imperial Miners that I broke.
You did break that game, but that's because that card was broken.
Yeah.
There's got to be an errata on that. It's a brand new expansion, so I'm pretty sure that card is going to be fixed with a Sharpie.
With a Sharpie. Wow.
Wow. That's
You're getting
something.
serious.
I'm serious. That card was broken.
All right. Well, that takes us to your number 11. Doug, what is your number?
All right. My number 11 is another one of these games that falls into that sort of worker placement deck building hybrid, though in my opinion, this is definitely the one that does it the best. I would prefer to play this even over Lost Ruins of Arnak and Dune Imperium. This is Endless Winter Paleo Americans. Fantastic game. First of all, art, amazing. Components, amazing. But in addition, the way that you can build your deck out, the way that it has, again, we say built into the cake. The trashing of cards is built into the cake.
So nice.
I really love all of the, you only have 3 workers. You have 2 workers and your chief, which is going to give you some bonuses if you play him right. And you play him out on one of the 4 or 5, I think it's 4 main sections. And then you run that section, right? There's multiple things that you can do. Of course, getting bonuses if you're the first one to play your worker there. I really love the map exploration part of it, where, well, it's not really exploration. The map is known, but you are spreading out over that map. There's a little bit of an area control thing, but for the most part, you're getting your tents and your huts and stuff built out on that so that you can collect a lot of resources during that solar eclipse phase. It plays over 4 rounds, so it has, it's not going to overstay. It plays relatively quick, and you've got to be really efficient with how you use your resources and play your workers every single time because you don't get a lot of workers to place. I really like the endgame scoring, the monolith board. I mean, I could go on and on, right? You've got the track, the idle tracks that you can go up for creating scoring synergies and all that kind of thing. I love the animals and the way you can use them to set collect, or you can tip them for their special abilities. I also love that, at least my copy, the deluxe edition or whatever, has all of the modules and different expansions and things that come in it. So there's a lot of variety in the decks that you play. You don't have to play with the same set of cards every single time you play the game. There's just a lot to explore and love about Endless Winter Paleo Americans. One of my favorite games. Not quite a top 10, but one that I absolutely
pretty darn close.
It is so good.
Yeah, no, it is a good one. It's one that I own as well, but I just don't see it seeing the table time. So it's one that I keep trying to cull, but I can't. I'm like Greg. I don't want to drop the price to a point where it's going to go away.
Calling this game is blasphemy.
Yeah, but it is a great game, and it is one that I would enjoy seeing get to the table more often for sure.
Awesome. Well, then let's do it.
Let's do it. Make the magic happen. All right. So that is our top 11 through 20.
We are 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, we're almost there. One more episode should tip us over the edge. This episode's run a little long.
Just a little.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we were long-winded on our explanations of our games. We were very excited.
Yeah.
Why were we so excited about these ho-hum games? We've got our top 10s.
I know.
We've got the actual good games to talk about, right?
You know what's funny is that episode's probably going to be a lot shorter too, which is ironic. But there was a lot of tangents that went on this episode. So.
That is true.
Yeah, we're in a tangent kind of mood.
Yes, very much so. But on that note,
until next time,
we'll see you ticking off those top 30, comparing them to everybody else at the game table.
Thank you for listening and being a part of Meeple Nation. If you would be so kind as to follow, subscribe, share, and rate or review this podcast, it really helps to spread the fun. You can be more involved in supporting the podcast by joining the nation at patreon.com/MeepleNation, or you can find a link at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. And while you're there, look at all our extra content. There are links to all our past episodes, a wide variety of blogs, pictures from our Instagram feed, and bios for all the hosts and our awesome bloggers. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all under Meeple Nation. If you would like to chat with the hosts or other members of the nation, you can join our Facebook group, Meeple Nation Off Air. We hope to see you again at a game night, a con, or maybe a suspense-driven evening of Werewolf. Thank you for listening and supporting Meeple Nation, and stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thank you so much for listening. We very much want to thank our patrons who help keep the podcast running. I personally want to thank my co-hosts for all the help they provide with both content here on the podcast, in addition to what we have available on our website. Without them, the podcast would not happen. If you too would like to support the podcast, you can join the nation at patreon.com/Meeple_nation. Or you can find a link to Patreon at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. If you have any questions, comments, or games you feel should be on our radar, you can always reach us at meeplenation@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you. I am grateful to Doug and Andy who helped me edit episodes, and I want to thank James and Kim Clark who do the editing on our blogs and on our webpage, which can be found at meeplenation.com. We want to thank Brain Detergent for our music. If you want to find more from him, you can follow his links that can be found on our webpage, or simply search for Brain Detergent on YouTube to find more of his tracks. Thank you again for listening and being part of the Meeple Nation community.